This is podcast Happy at Work. My name is Tatiana Koval. In our podcast, we discuss the different topics which help us to improve the people-centered approach for all the organization in the whole world. And today, my expert is Tony Koval. Hi, Tony.
To meet you.
Uh,
It's really challenging to come from the back office to front office because I'm also co-founder of a podcast.
yes. Tony, before we start, I want you to share some of your professional background because not all the audience know more about you. So please, could you share some of your professional background and your professional experience and sphere in which you are working?
Thank you very much. I started in a marketing agency, and it was about 20 years ago. And I sharply moved to startup sphere, where I met you and fall in the HR sphere. And I have been working as an HR consultant, I think 50 years approximately. And last 3 years, I am also founder of the AI-based startup, Open Media. And I and my team, we are developing uh, generative agents here in São Paulo, in Brazil. And I'm from the district of Hato. It's the important place for the whole Brazil of developing artificial intelligence here and in the whole Latin region.
As you said, you are focused now on AI, and they decided to tell more about it because you have a huge professional background in HR and now in AI. And my first question for you, if you talk about AI, because this topic is hugely discussed everywhere, what stage of using AI now in 2026? How could you explain and describe it?
So, in my opinion, it's the year of clarity, instability in AI sphere because all forecasts in the past were about the uh, sharply growth of AI technologies, especially in business sector. But in real life, it's more hype than the reality because the most of people were focused on replacing humans by artificial intelligence, but not to help humans to make their work better. So we are in the interesting point now. Uh, there are a lot of AI-based startups that can provide you uh, really unbelievable experience in words. But in reality, it will start with a corporate culture, with humans and company, because a lot of factors you mm, have to pay attention for uh, during your AI implementation. So my forecast that during this year, the hype will decrease and the new stable work of implementation will start because in the long period, adding artificial intelligence in your business processes will help you to improve your business, to improve the life of your employees, of your clients, investors, all of them. But you have to do small steps, step by step.
If they talk about AI in the previous period, there are a lot of companies who try to use it in their process. What are the main mistakes and common risks which see what a company could meet in the way for using AI?
Yeah, it's sounds obvious, but many companies stuck to that point. And I saw the numbers of MIT University when 95% of the AI project that were implemented in different big companies failed. Oh, it's uh, impossible. Why? Why? Like, we are so intelligent, but we can't implement it. So the question in our sphere, I met two big and opposite situations. The first one, CEO or board of directors, they want to implement AI immediately, all instruments, and they can saw a lot of startups in Web Summit or in our conference. Oh, it's like magic button. Yeah, and they can buy a lot of licenses or a whole decision or create the new one for the company, for example, for learning, for teaching, for sales, or in our sphere. But they usually can provide a special learning how to use AI. And it will meet the partisan movement in the company because as employee and as the middle manager, you are still responsible for result. That's right. But CEO or your functional director says, man, Tony, you have to implement AI immediately without learning, without any clear path, without any helps. Yes, you have tech support company, but you have to wait every get response about 3 days. It's not good for work because your client uh, is expecting your answer immediately. Yeah. So after 2 3 months, uh, it will drop down, and the CEO doesn't see the huge or results that he expected before when he have bought the decision. That's one situation. From the other side, CEO and our board of directors think that no, we are really simple company, we are a production company. We have big data, we have developers, we really don't need any AI because no reason. The business is still working perfectly, so right. But the problem that is called shadow AI when the employees use open instruments like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or others. Yeah, and they put directly to the system some sensitive documents. For example, list of clients to find some correlates. They try to improve their work myself without. And this is also a problem. And uh, have uh, I have made the startup that can find your private documents in the AI base. So it's also response for this situation. So these two popular problems that I saw in the market.
Mhm. We discussed a lot of our prediction also what how we could shift from using AI is just a tool for AI as a paradigm of reorganizing the company for transformation of companies. So it is AI a revolution, and it also come to the revolution of AI oriented culture transformation. What do you think? What could be important things that company should pay attention on this stage? If company want to implement different HR tools or the different process, and also for employees and also for an HR function, but also for different other functions. What company should focus if it want to really implement AI strategy, AI oriented mindset? What do you think about it?
If I can, I will rename it to human-centric approach because AI can live without us. He's so big and so powerful. So we need to help the employees, not the AI. But from point of view, the first one, you have to have structured and clear processes that describe it in your company. During my work as a consultant, I perfectly I remember the EVP characteristic about structured processes, and it's not very common characteristics for all of businesses, and it can support your employees to stay in company, and it's attractive thing for candidates. It's real. So same for AI. If you don't have very clear and structured processes in describing it, so you should to start to do it before AI, because you can automate that you don't have. First one. The second point that AI reduce inequality. The productivity of your workers will not rise in the same level. Top performance will use AI in the best way, and they could rapidly grow their results. Because usually when they have paid subscription, they have two, three, five agents and different tools. They can, for example, in sales, I know some people who can create short videos for sales. Yes, they are working for companies, but they have personal brand and use AI for creating content and sell more than people who doesn't have this skill. So uh, you, as HR, you have to clearly understand that it's not about equality, but you can prepare the learning system on different levels. So basic level, middle level, and top level. So some information is necessary. It's basic for I think 50% of stuff, but for top 10% of stuff, you have to provide special courses with great trainers, with professional. The third point, um, it's sorry, uh, I forgot the third point. During
We,
that
we, could, we could bet for
my
this
thinking.
third point that I think a little bit later. And I want to ask you about using AI for the employee experience, because I think before you start to promote the idea of AI for the whole business cycle, you also, and people believe what you are, AI-oriented company, you also need to implement it in the HR process. I know what you work with different projects for improving AI, improving employee experience. I know it's about onboarding, about learning and development projects. What could you recommend to companies who want to improve their HR function using AI with a focus on the employee experience? What should they do? And maybe what they should not do. It's also important.
We can go back to my previous first point about structured process. We're saying you remember that we met a lot years ago Kevin from the United States, when provide services of evaluating candidate employee experience. So it's close to this, and AI uh, adds the value to the surveys and to the instant touch with candidate or employee. So you also have to uh, create your employee journey map or candidate journey map or student journey map if you are a corporate university. You can write all of levels of engagement of your subject. For example, the it's obvious that you have to contact more, but many candidates may suffer from problem that they don't have responses to their CVs. But AI can provide you. Agent can grab, can evaluate, can write, can ask additional questions, can make a video interview like we are doing now. Uh, it can give to candidate the uh, big response. Why yes, why not? Next steps, and on the client side, he or she they can write immediately. What is my status? What is problems with my CV? Can you recommend me what to improve? And it's really really nice to improve your candidate and employee experience, especially in vulnerable times, especially when you don't have a big budget for hiring or for some well-being things. So you will write the whole map, and you can see what are you doing with humans, what you are doing by self as a responsible person, what the managers are doing, and where is the space, and you can add AI, and you can ask yourself, is it good for a person or it's not good? Uh, you don't have to add agent if it doesn't necessary. So really, people see a lot of AI content during the day. They don't have to receive the another content with generated video, generated image. Uh, time of response. It's the core thing that agent can add for you, for clients, for partners, and for all.
Uh, if we talk about employees, the current employees, and when you start to implement AI in the process inside the company, what risks and also opportunities for career, for improving productivity do employee have, and how should you engage and sell your ideas to the employees?
You can remember the process of digital transformation 10, 15 years ago. I think we are on the same study, but in my opinion, the employees have much more fear about to be replaced by AI because all of conference, all of several talks, all of big tech companies usually say, "Oh, we will replace the employees by AI. We will post that." We have to concentrate on the helping humans to work with AI. So, in previous times, we have situation when we have employee and employer. Now we have preferred subject or object of AI. It's not employer. It's not like employee, classic employee. It's not a manager. And so I expect a big shift in corporate culture, in corporate values, because the problem of implementation and the big the biggest roadblock is the fear, as I said, fear of to be replaced, and the fear um, to stay unproductive, to stay not so good like other uh, colleagues in your company. So, for example, industrial revolution, after that, digital revolution, both of them made the uh, great increase of our productivity. Yes, like the uh, cotton production, for example. It's a popular example. The same, but AI can uh, increase the inequality, and inequality not in the market, but in the one company. So you will see that in the past, it was the base plan for all sellers, but now it's not a base. Base will be increased by managers because you have an AI instrument, and part of your workers uh, can use AI efficiently and gain much more money than others. So difference will be bigger. So as an HR, you have to expect this situation and to predict it by values. And the second point of implementation that is uh, very important for me, it's honesty and responsibility. Uh, who is responsible for all of the decision of artificial intelligence, of the generative engine? As I mentioned before, the worker, the employee is still responsible for result, for plan execution, and for other things, and manager after that. But I saw the data that uh, some companies said that 40% of time employees wasted on the correction of artificial intelligence. So you can buy it, the system, you can learn it, but you can trust it. But you are still responsible. And the system of agent isn't responsible for themselves. So you have to make a strategic session with the whole board of sales of operational directors and to write the new values, new rights of a corporate culture. Who is responsible in a situation when is the mistake made by artificial intelligence?
Mhm. And how to fix it, because I think it's really important to understand how to avoid the situation in the future and when they could trust or our tool, when we should to check it more carefully.
Problem that we can't avoid it, really. We have to pay attention every day that it will be. But
Mhm.
we can reduce it to maybe 1-2%, but it will be.
Mhm. A question about young generation. There are a lot of young generation, and I have to. I think one problem and one opportunity. The first problem is what if we talk about AI and using it for the very simple standard work, it decrease the numbers of vacation for the young generation. It's one side. So we need to redefine our graded recruitment strategy, our graded recruitment projects. Another side, using AI is a great opportunity for improving your effectiveness. on the stage of attraction, the stage of assessment, on the stage of onboarding. What could you recommend companies, the companies who want to improve, to change their graded recruitment programs, graded recruitment strategy, how to use AI this way?
Really important questions nowadays because I think interns and young professionals suffered much more when who are in corporate now because mm, there was a popular conception, I think, last 50 years that we're a sandbox company for youngers. They can understand way away, they can start their career, learn basics of corporate life, and etc. But nowadays, all of I think 90% of all workplace which suited for youngers, for graduates, will be replaced by artificial intelligence because it's simple work. It's work like counting numbers in Excel, creating presentations, because you have to start with things that have small responsibility. Yeah. So where is a huge challenge and career shift? You can provide it to youngers much more. You can mm, operate uh, with your graduate system in another way. You make hire people with AI skills. So it's also artificial intelligence also influences on the uh, old ages because uh, I think 10 years ago you can say I have 15 years experience in this sphere, so I know what we know that it's not so true because after 3 years you have approximately 90% experience. But with artificial intelligence, really, you can borrow all the knowledge of a company just in 5 seconds. You don't have to work 10 years to understand, And maybe you listen to it. A lot of cases that all the professionals you're fired after teaching artificial intelligence. So an opposite. It's opportunity for youngsters, for graduates. Uh, you don't have to have experience of work, popular point previous times, but you can explain to a HR or to manager what you have been creating with your agents, how to use it for study, for personal life, or maybe you create the agent uh, for example, to make a table to collect different data from different websites in financial sphere and to make predictions to buy stocks or to sell it. For example, you can, and it's much more mm, value for company to hire this person than the person that I graduated from a big university, but uh, I expect that you will learn me everything I want. Yeah, you can hire uh, the youngsters that already learned it, and it's essential to provide them immediately feedback. For example, we have uh, one agent that is specialized for graduate recruitment, onboarding, evaluation, all of processes. Because of it, the intern will come to your company prepared for the real work. Not to he doesn't need to be adopted by a special person in your company for 2 3 days to understand what you're really doing.
Uh, Time is coming so fast, so they are in the end of our meeting, and I want to ask you a last question, which is usual for all my guests, and this question is about 3 main tips which you could give to the companies who want to implement AI tools, who want to implement AI-based strategy, AI-based culture, people-based, and AI-based culture at one time, because we promote idea of people, human-centered approach. So what 3 main tips could you give the companies for 2026?
1 minute. I think first and foremost is to think strategically to implement artificial intelligence in your HR strategy. The second one, to be human oriented. Uh, you can't avoid human in your company. You have to help him to use AI correctly and very productive. And the ultimate one, it's my personal goal, is to be honest with your employees and don't change some process or values or uh, etc. Without explanation why we are doing so. So if you change the model of evaluation of that's good, that's bad in company, you have to explain it clearly to all of your people. But in our way, a company will blow up because you can remember the movement of Luddites in the England during the Industrial Revolution. So that's 3 tips.
Tony, thanks a lot for conversation. Thanks a lot for participation.
Thank you. Thank you.
And stay in touch. This is podcast Happy at Work. My name is Tatiana Koval. And stay tuned.